Okay, let's get this started by saying I'm not a video blogger. I don't have a GoPro. I don't take films when I'm out riding my bike. But recently I posted a small video of myself talking about my two motorbikes, my Yamaha Virago 535, which is 20 years old, and this little thing. This is a Malaysian bike called a Demak. I call it Demak before, but apparently it's Demak. It's as you can see, it's a little 125cc classically styled bike, I would suggest, with a copy of a Honda CG125 engine. Let's see. We'll check out how much is on the clock. My shaky camera work. So it's all doing its thing. And I'm going to tell you all about the exciting problems we've had with this bike. So we're on 5,204 kilometers. Sorry, 524 kilometers. So not a lot of mileage on that, or kilometerage, if that's what we call it. So what's it like to ride? It's a lot of fun. I've had to go a few bikes in the past, mostly smaller bikes. Two bikes before this, I had a Yamaha FZ150. A Yamaha FZ150 in this country, which is Malaysia, costs the equivalent of about 10,000 ringgit. This costs the equivalent of about 4,000 ringgit, so you've got 6,000 ringgit to play with if you like. This is certainly slower than FZ150, it would be. It's got a smaller engine as well. Slower, but I would tell you it's more comfortable. I think it's more fun to ride. I think it's a lovely little bike. I love the look, I love the style. It's the little things like this backlight. So I like all of that stuff. But here's what I don't like. The company. First of all, I bought this from in Malaysia you don't really get sort of bike shops that you get in the UK, so you can't just go in and say I'd like to try that bike out, and they give you a bike and you go off for a little ride and come back and say yes or no. Here I've literally had the situation where at one place I went to, I asked to see a bike that they'd advertised, and piles of them in the picture, and they didn't have any in stock. So I said, okay, so when can I see one? They told me when I buy it was the actual word to use. When you buy it, you can see it. It's a ridiculous way to sell a bike, and obviously I won't be going back there and I can buy a bike. Another place I went to, the bikes were all packed in tightly. This was a bike called it's the same company actually, Demak, but this wasn't from the dealer, this is like a general dealer. I asked if they could possibly move the bike out into other bikes so I could sit on it, because I'm quite short and I wanted to make sure that I would fit on this bike. To which the guy that runs the place said no. So as you can tell, buying a bike here in Malaysia can be quite exciting. So I basically bought this in a shopping mall, okay, from a dealer who just does various different ranges of local bikes and Chinese bikes. Now here's where the problems start. So I ride this little beauty home. It's supposed to be serviced, according to one book I've read, 300 kilometers, 600 kilometers and 1,000 kilometers on the running in period. But then if you look on, I think if you look on the service manual they give you, which has 2 tear-out sheets for free services, the first one says 500 kilometers and the second one says 1,000. So which is right, the service manual they give you or the handbook they give you? Neither of which are written in very good English, obviously, because we're in Malaysia and they are not smart enough to think, oh, we'll get these written by somebody with technical skills so that our clients who don't speak Malaysian, which is a big majority, well not a big majority, but a fair few of the people in this country don't speak BM, Bahasa Malaysia, so that they could maybe understand what's going on. So what I then did, I found out where the service centre is now. There's a million bike shops in this place I live in, and most of them open sort of many of them, open 3 PM to 3 AM, or hours like that, because we're very close to Singapore, and a lot of people from this state travel to Singapore to work, and so their working hours basically mean they can't drop the bike off in the morning because they wouldn't be able to get to work, and so they need to ride in from Singapore, get it fixed before they go home to bed. And if you sort of turn up at one of these bike shops 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they will be packed, and it's like a whole different world you've never seen before. So let's start going through the problem. So first thing first, and I've been told this on the Demak Facebook page, not the official one, but a one called Demak Convert. The speedometer is out. I mean, it looks nice, but I'm sort of popping along. I'm running it in at 6,500 revs because, again, we can't really get any common sense as to what the running in is supposed to be. So the speedometer is about 85 kilometers indicated, it's only doing 75. The fuel gauge is farcical. It can be empty, it can be half empty, or it can be full, all on the same sort of 10 kilometer stretch of road. And so they've been the two small ones, and finding neutral's a real pain in the arse. So, you know, nothing major just yet. It's a new bike, little running in period. So I took it to the local dealer. There was only one. They were closed. On a Monday they were closed because it was a public holiday. On the Tuesday, when they're supposed to be open for their short period of time, which is literally like 8:30 till lunchtime, after lunchtime till about 5:30, so really no use whatsoever. And they were closed on that day as well, but luckily somebody left the door unlocked. I pushed the door, I went in, and I found this guy, and I said, look, is this where I get my bike serviced? Yes, it is. Can you tell me the service intervals? Which he proceeded to tell me it was 500, 1,000. I told him, well, the book says 300, 600, 1,000. He went, 300, 500, 1,000. And it went backwards and forwards like a Laurel and Hardy sketch, if you've ever heard of them. Well, history, baby. Backwards and forwards for a hell of a long time, with me realising this guy literally, who had maybe 6 bikes on his showroom floor, because they only do these bikes, didn't know his own product. I then went back there 3 times the following week to get it serviced. Each time they were closed. Now, there's no signs on the door saying we're closed. I went there were other people with their bikes sitting outside on one occasion. Nobody there. I've tried phoning the head office in KL, no reply. I've sent emails to the head office in KL, no reply. I've sent messages on the Facebook page, no reply. Oh, I've just noticed something. Side panel's falling off, okay? You're going to get used to this because I already had to stop and pick one of these up off the road. You can already see this. Can you see that? That there? I'll tell you about that any second now. So, the biggest problem with this bike, and if you had smell-o-vision, you would know, this bike leaks oil like a bastard. I mean, it really leaks oil. I can't do that one-handed. I've just noticed I can't do it one-handed. Can I? I can, okay. So, that's back on. So, we'll see from the other side. I have just a little scratch on the corner there, scratch at the front. That this one bounced off when I hit one of Johore's lovely potholes. In Johore, potholes are big enough to swallow a man and a bike easily. So, the biggest issue we have, and there's the proof, I've just put this bike here, is somewhere in here, I think probably from this join here, we have a leak. Now, from other Demak owners, I understand that they also leak from the petrol cap, they also leak from the petrol switch. Okay, you can see on top of the cylinder head there, that's a shitload of petrol that's been dripping onto my bike. Okay, and down there you can see it's everywhere. Basically, this bike is covered in petrol. And so, what do? You take it to the dealer's not there, you have to keep riding it. You come out from work. My work hours are ridiculous. I work in the F&B industry. I head off to work at about 2 PM. I get home sometime between 2 and 4 AM. So I ain't got no time for playing, I only get 1 day off. Alright? So this to me is a tool. It's a bike I enjoy riding, but it's meant to be my main sort of bike. My Virago is for fun on weekends and that kind of stuff, and this is meant to be my workhorse. That's why I bought it, but not proving to be the case. So next time you see this bike, it should look significantly different. I am giving up with Demak, the company. A friend of mine has done an amazing job and basically got the company to agree to come down and service it, but it's on a day that's not suitable for me, and they can't come all the way from KL, which is about 400 kilometers away, to service my bike every time it happens. I'm sure that won't continue. So I've decided I'm taking it to my normal mechanic, which we'll see maybe later, and we're going to get this bike looked after by them, and at the same time I'm going to erase all trace of Demak from this bike, and I'm going to style it like a Honda XL 125 from days of yore. And that's it. Stuff Demak. Much as I love this little bike, and I do, I think it's a fabulous little ride, the company behind it are a joke.